All right, Celtic fans, gather round because there's plenty to unpack today, and the atmosphere around the club is absolutely buzzing. The last couple of weeks have been full of twists, speculation, and that classic Celtic roller coaster of emotions. And honestly, it feels like we're standing right on the edge of something new again. A sense of excitement, a bit of uncertainty, and that unmistakable hope that only Celtic supporters seem to carry no matter what's happening on the pitch. So let's start with what everyone's been talking about, the managerial situation. There's been endless chatter about who's going to take over on a permanent basis, and a lot of names have been thrown into the mix. One of the strongest rumors doing the rounds involves Craig Bellamy, who's currently managing the Welsh national side. Now, Bellamy's situation is quite complicated. Wales are in a decent position in their World Cup qualifying group, looking set to finish second, which would push them into the playoffs come March. Even if they somehow slipped into third, they've already secured a playoff place thanks to their Nations League performance. So, realistically, unless Wales win their group outright, Bellamy's focus is going to stay there for the next few months at least. And that makes things tricky for Celtic. If Bellamy's the man they really want, then we're probably looking at a bit of a wait. The last thing he's going to do is walk away from an international campaign, just as his side are fighting for a World Cup spot. And to be fair, who would? That kind of opportunity doesn't come round often. The Welsh FA's chief executive even came out recently and said Bellamy's fully focused on the job at hand, which basically shuts the door on any quick move. It's not exactly a come-and-get-me plea, is it? Still, there's a sense, you can feel it in the support and see it in the media coverage, that Celtic are in no mad rush here. The club's been through managerial uncertainty before, and right now, Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney seem to have steadied the ship. Over just a couple of games, they've managed to bring a bit of life back into the squad, a bit of energy that had clearly been missing in the final weeks under Brendan Rodgers. There's this feeling now that the board are perfectly happy to take their time, and honestly, who can blame them? When a change happens mid-season like this, the last thing you want is to rush into the wrong appointment. And let's be honest, Celtic have been guilty of being a bit reactive at times in the past. But with O'Neill and Maloney at the helm, even temporarily, things feel different. They've given the supporters something to believe in again. You can see it in the players' body language, the tempo, the connection with the fans. The whole place feels more alive. There's no hiding from it. Things had gone stale under Rodgers. You could see it week after week. The football was flat, the intensity wasn't there, and the atmosphere around the team just didn't have that Celtic spark. Now, suddenly, the players look like they're enjoying themselves again. You see smiles on faces, you see movement, you see hunger. It's like that old saying, sometimes change doesn't just fix problems, it reignites passion. And right now, you can feel that all over Celtic Park. That's why the board might be thinking, let's not rush it. Let's see where O'Neill and Maloney can take this. They've got experience, they've got respect in the dressing room, and, most importantly, they seem to have the trust of the players. And you know what? That counts for a lot. For the first time in a while, there's a bit of calm. No panic, no overreactions, just a sense that things are moving in the right direction again. Meanwhile, in the background, the talk about other managerial candidates hasn't completely died out. Alongside Bellamy and McKenna, there's still mention of Kjetil Knutsen from Bodo/Glimt. But again, none of these potential options are likely to be immediately available. So patience might well be the best play here. Celtic have often been a club that responds to circumstances rather than shaping them, but maybe this is a chance to do things differently. To wait for the right person, not just the next person. Now, while the board and the fans debate the big picture, life at the club rolls on. The new Queen Street Celtic store officially opened last night, and although it's a nice bit of news for the commercial side of things, not everyone in the support is exactly celebrating. Some fans groups have been vocal about holding back on spending, focusing their passion and their protest through campaigns like the Not Another Penny movement. The message is clear. Match tickets, yes, but merchandise, food, tours, all the extras, no more until there's change in how things are run at the top. It's a powerful stance, and you can bet it's being noticed. Still, the event at the new shop went ahead, with a few familiar faces there to mark the opening, including Sebastian Tinkty, Callum Osman, and Johnny Kenny. And that last name, Callum Osman, is quickly becoming one of the most talked about players around Celtic Park right now. It's wild how fast things can change in football. Just a week or two ago, Osman was basically invisible to the first-team picture. He'd never even played a senior match. Then, almost overnight, he's thrust into the spotlight, and suddenly he's one of the names on everyone's lips. Now, Osman wasn't in the original Europa League squad. Same with Anamura, Yamada, and young Simpson Puzzy. But UEFA's new rule this season allows a team to make one change if a player is ruled out for over 60 days through injury or illness. That's opened a door for Celtic, because Cameron Carter-Vickers fits that category. It means Osman could step in as his replacement. And from what we're hearing, that's exactly what the club are pushing for. It's a massive opportunity for a kid like him. To go from the B team to the Europa League in the space of days? That's stuff dreams are made of. But here's the thing, and it's important for all of us as supporters, we've got to stay grounded. Osman's got the talent, the pace, and that spark of unpredictability that makes fans sit up and take notice. But he's still at the very beginning. This is a lad who, not long ago, was just training quietly and waiting for a chance. So let's not pile the world on his shoulders just yet. At the same time, you can't help but admire how he's handled himself. He's playing like he belongs. There's no fear, no hesitation. It's like he's living in the moment and loving every second of it. You can almost see that confidence growing with each touch of the ball. He's got that drive and energy that reminds you of when Jeremy Frimpong first broke into the team. That same raw pace and determination to make something happen every time he gets the ball. It's that kind of fearlessness Celtic have been missing up front since Kyogo left. Now, nobody's saying Osman is at that level. Far from it. But he brings something we've been lacking: speed, movement, and a willingness to stretch defenses. And with the new coaching setup, he's getting encouragement to play his game, to trust his instincts. It's no coincidence that both Sean Maloney and Stephen McManus were quick to spot him in training and give him that opportunity. They said it themselves. They couldn't hold him back any longer. And you can feel that trust. Maloney even said after a recent match that when he first met Martin O'Neill to discuss the squad, he knew straight away that Callum was exactly the type of striker O'Neill would love: energetic, hardworking, and brave. You can already sense that connection between them. For a young player trying to find his place, that belief from the manager can make all the difference in the world. In the meantime, senior figures like Callum McGregor, James Forrest, and even Cameron Carter-Vickers, despite being injured, are stepping up massively in the dressing room. You can tell the leadership core has taken it upon themselves to stabilize things. Maloney mentioned that Vickers made a big effort to be at the last match just to show support for the team. That's the kind of unity you need when you're trying to rebuild momentum. Tactically, Maloney and O'Neill have made small adjustments, but the impact has been huge. You can see it on the pitch: quicker transitions, more runs in behind, more urgency. It's like the team's been unleashed. It's not just possession for possession's sake anymore. There's intent. You can feel it in the stands too. The fans are responding, and that connection that had been fading is starting to come back. That's what Celtic's all about. It's not just about winning matches. It's about the way we do it, with passion, with speed, with that never-say-die energy. For the first time in months, you can look at this team and feel like something's building again. Whether it's the beginning of a new era or just a spark before the storm, it's got everyone talking. And that's exactly what Celtic needs right now. Right. So let's pick things up from where we left off, because the buzz around Celtic just keeps growing. Everyone's got one eye on that big Europa League night in Denmark, and the mood around the team right now feels miles away from what it was just a few short weeks ago. Back then, under Brendan Rodgers, there was this flatness that had crept in. You could see it in the football, you could hear it in the crowd. Now, with Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney calling the shots, it's like the players have been set free. The passing's sharper, the movement's quicker, and most importantly, there's belief again. That's the difference. Heading into the Denmark game, there's a cautious optimism. Nobody's underestimating the challenge. The Danish side are sitting top of their group, and they've been scoring for fun. But this new Celtic side has a different energy about it. They're not going there to sit back and hope for the best. The mood in the camp is that they can go toe-to-toe with anyone right now. When you look at how we've played since the managerial change, you can see a bit of swagger returning. Players like McGregor and Forrest, who've been through it all, are stepping up again. You can sense the leadership in the way they're talking, the way they're driving others on. Even the younger ones seem to be feeding off that. You know what's really stood out, though? The way Maloney and O'Neill have managed to get everyone pulling in the same direction in such a short space of time. That's no small thing. They've made some clever tweaks, little positional shifts, sharper pressing, more runners breaking beyond the midfield, and it's changed the whole rhythm of the game. The team's no longer waiting for something to happen. They're making things happen. For supporters watching, it's like seeing Celtic wake up again after a long sleep. There's a lot of talk about what's possible now. Can we get a result in Denmark? Can we make a statement in Europe again? And honestly, why not? Football's all about moments, and Celtic's history is built on nights when nobody gave them a chance. O'Neill knows that better than anyone. The way he's been talking about belief, about hunger, it feels like he's trying to remind everyone what it means to wear that shirt. And look, even if it ends up being a tough night out there, you can't help but feel that this team will fight for everything. That's all fans ever ask for: commitment, spirit, that sense that you're representing something bigger than yourself. Watching the last couple of matches, that spirit's been back in full force. It's like the crowd and the players have reconnected, feeding off each other. Celtic Park felt alive again last weekend, that raw noise echoing around, the kind that gets under your skin and makes you believe anything's possible. Now, there's still a long way to go this season. Nobody's pretending it's all perfect, but there's momentum again, and that's priceless. Even if we don't get a quick appointment for the next permanent manager, this setup feels stable enough to carry us through. The board can take their time and make sure they get the right person in, not just the convenient one. And as long as O'Neill and Maloney keep delivering performances like we've seen recently, the fans will stay patient. It's funny how quickly football changes. 2 wins, a bit of fire, and suddenly the whole outlook shifts. While all the focus is on the pitch, there's been movement off it too. Words come out that Celtic are considering a move for Kilmarnock midfielder David Watson when the January window opens. Now, that's an interesting one. Watson's still young, but he's been making waves in the Scottish Premiership for a while now. He's got that mix of tenacity and intelligence you want in a modern midfielder. Always chasing the ball, snapping into tackles, but also with the technical quality to keep things ticking over. The fact that he's Scottish-trained makes him even more valuable, considering UEFA's homegrown quotas that clubs have to manage. Watson's out of contract at the end of the season, which means Kilmarnock are in a tricky spot. If Celtic really fancy him, they could either move in January for a modest fee or wait until the summer and get him for nothing. Either way, it feels like a smart bit of business, the kind of signing that fits the club's model these days. Build depth, develop talent, and keep that Scottish core strong. It's easy to see why the recruitment teams got him on the radar. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. There's a storm brewing in Glasgow's East End, and the whispers are growing louder by the hour. Word on the street, and apparently around Lennox Down, is that Celtic have pulled off an audacious move for one of La Liga's brightest young stars. According to sources close to the deal, Alejandro Balde, the electric fullback from Barcelona, has agreed terms to join the Scottish champions in what could be one of the most surprising transfers of recent years. The rumor started quietly enough, with a few murmurs about Celtic scouts being spotted at Camp Nou earlier this autumn. But in the past few days, the talk has shifted from speculation to near certainty. Balde, who has made waves with his blistering pace and attacking flair down the left flank, is said to be keen on a fresh challenge, and Celtic, it seems, have convinced him that the green and white hoops are the perfect fit. It's believed that the move is driven by more than money. The promise of regular European football, the roar of a packed Celtic Park under the lights, and the chance to become a central figure in Brendan Rodgers' plans reportedly swayed the young Spaniard. Insiders claim that both clubs have reached an agreement, with only the official announcement standing between Balde and his unveiling in Glasgow. Fans have already taken to social media to share their excitement and disbelief. Could one of Spain's most promising defenders really be bound for the Scottish Premiership? Some say it's a short-term loan. Others insist it's a permanent deal worth a small fortune. Either way, the timing is perfect for Celtic, who are gearing up for the grueling European campaign ahead. If the rumors prove true, this signing could mark a statement of intent from the Hoops, a bold move to bridge the gap between domestic dominance and continental ambition. For now, though, the city waits, buzzing with anticipation. All eyes are on Parkhead, where history may be in the making. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.